With every subclass having access to volatile rounds through this season's artifact, and Bricks from Beyond giving crazy amounts of heavy ammo, using a void weapon is a no-brainer. There's a ton of very good void weapon options, but almost none of them are as strong as the Wavesplitter exotic, and here's why. A funnel web, one of the best primary SMGs in the game, with Adrenaline Junkie all the way stacked up, does 1,687 damage and has an RPM of 900. The Wavesplitter, on the other hand, does a whopping 2,404 damage with an RPM of 1,000. Clearly, it's already significantly stronger than the funnel web. Where this gets pretty crazy is that Wavesplitter's exotic perk Harmonic Laser has the gun oscillating between 3 different power levels, granting an increase of 32% or 68% depending on the power level. However, anytime you pick up an orb of power, the gun becomes supercharged, giving you that 68% damage increase at all times, making that 2,404 number go up to 3,066. This obviously isn't a 68% increase, and that's because the gun will always start at power level 2, randomly going down from 2 to 1 or up to 3. You can avoid ever hitting power level 1 and losing the 32% increase in damage by simply tap firing. Regardless though, if we compare that damage to a funnel web with 5 times Adrenaline Junkie, the Wavesplitter does a massive 51,099 DPS, while the funnel web only does 25,305, making the Wavesplitter literally do twice as much damage. This gets even more insane is when you realize that Supercharged Battery is also going to fully reload the weapon anytime you pick up an orb of power, so you'll never have to reload the gun, but Supercharged Battery also makes the gun suppress any enemy that you shoot while you have the buff active. The buff by default will last for 10 seconds, but picking up extra orbs of power will extend it to a total of 20 seconds. It cannot be understated how incredibly strong it is being able to just shoot enemies and suppress them. This is extremely good for an abundance of reasons. First off, suppression is basically like blind from a blinding GL, where it makes the enemy unable to shoot, move, or really do anything at all for an entire 7 seconds. And this even works against enemies such as Tormentors, allowing you to just permanently stunlock any enemy that you want. Additionally, suppression has some pretty nice interactions if you're playing a Void subclass. For example, Echo of Domineering gives you plus 30 mobility and fully reloads your weapon anytime you simply just apply suppression to a target. And if you happen to kill a suppressed target, you'll spawn a Void Breach, giving you 10% of your class ability back, but also proccing Devour if you're using Echo of Starvation as well. If you're on Hunter and using Stylish Executioner, suppression also counts as a Void debuff, so if you lose volatile rounds, you can still go invisible after every kill. As a pretty nice cherry on top, suppression also works against Overload champions. I'm sure there's even more interactions that I'm forgetting to mention, but you get the point. Having your gun apply suppression just by shooting at enemies, having it fully reload every time you pick up an orb of power, and having it do literally twice as much damage as one of the best primary weapon options in the game makes it a no-brainer, one of the best weapons, if not the best primary weapons you can use currently. The obvious issue though is that this is a special weapon and it uses special ammo. There's a few easy ways to remedy this so you're not running out of ammo constantly. First off, special finisher on the class item is very, very good. So good, in fact, that Bungie actually disabled it for the day 1 raid. Void Reserves on the chest is also nice for an extra total ammo capacity, and it only costs 1 because of the artifact mods this season. But the main way to spawn special ammo is simply just get kills while you have your heavy weapon out. It doesn't even have to be by your heavy weapon, just while you have it out. And special ammo will spawn pretty much all over the place. With Bricks from Beyond, I use my heavy rather frequently because we're spawning so many heavy bricks, so I almost never run out of special ammo. I'm sure people will also leave some good recommendations down below in terms of how to get more special ammo. When it comes to spawning orbs, so that you can take advantage of everything the Wavesplitter has to offer, all you really need is a Void Siphon mod on your helmet and a decent build. Speaking of builds, I have a ton of them posted on the channel, including Void builds for all 3 classes, which synergize very nicely with Wavesplitter, so feel free to check all of those out. Thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to drop a like if you learned something from the video, or if you end up enjoying how insanely strong Wavesplitter is.